Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast. What's good, guys? Here again with our weekly AK Watch episode. Hope you guys are excited for episode 10 as we're swiftly coming to the end of the spring season rendition. And with me is my amazing co-host. What's good, Daniel?
Yo, what's going on, people? This is a rare occurrence. We're recording just after the episode dropped, fresh. So the thoughts are literally just very raw. So it's going to be a very raw discussion, but here to enjoy as always. So yeah, let's go.
100%, yeah. Just getting right into this episode, the title being pressure. We start to see immediate application of pressure, which is crazy. Just it went straight into it. Kana being pushed to center stage, even though she's not really happy with that idea, or she doesn't really want to. She's kind of very resistant to taking center stage, and it's just obviously understandable since we get to see, obviously in the previous episode and throughout this episode, the things that are playing on her head and the expectations, and obviously just being in the industry, high pressured industry, the pressure of, and she understands it more than anybody else, meeting expectation, meeting sales. Like, they don't do this for fun. This is like, you have to sell, you have to do well. And I don't know, do you feel like she's handling it as well as she can, or do you think, like, this is the best of her, at this moment in time?
Well, I think I don't think she's handled the pressure well, to be honest, because she's boiling things up. She's not really being open and clear with what she thinks, and that's to the detriment of the group, because she's lashing out, and that's probably why she was struggling, and then why Aqua had to go to a certain length to get them to train, because she wouldn't listen to him, because she's like got this vendetta against him. But I think the main thing is that her experience is kind of hindering her ability to lead, because she has the knowledge of failure, and she feels that pressure because she doesn't want to. She's okay if she fails, but she doesn't want to let the others down, and she feels that extra pressure because she's in a group now. And that's just that experience that's hurting her when she could be using it to help herself. So it's it was a good episode for like understanding Connor's mindset, and I thought it was just very interesting to just see some of what goes on in her head, and you got a better understanding of her family situation as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that in terms of how she's handling it. I do believe that she's been very unfair to herself, but obviously just behavior and the way the kind of system she's kind of repeated, and the repetitive nature of her going through the same cycle of failing and trying again and giving up, and now being very critical of herself, is something she's doing habitually. And you can tell, because obviously towards the latter stages of the series, I'm happy to see that she's aware of the fact that she does this to herself. But I definitely think it's something that she needs to stop. It's something that's not going to push her she's so young. Like, you have so much to offer, there's so much to do, and there's so much more experience. Bro, it is. No, I hear that.
When you're reading all those comments online and all that stuff, it kind of gets into your head, and she kind of like brainwash it,
Yeah, I definitely feel like the people don't protect these child stars enough. You see how she was just let go by the, what's it called?
Brutal.
Yeah, bro,
Very
like
brutal.
That's a kid.
You're too old now. Bye.
That's actually a kid, and you're throwing her away like she's some next trash. Like, you run your time. You're legit. I don't know, man. I think what I did like, though, especially in the beginning of this episode, was just seeing the group dynamic in regards to how they're dealing with the conflict, or even though it's a minor conflict, just any disagreement in a group is good to see how well you're able to handle it and move on from it and deal with the issue. And it's also good to see that they're very well aware of like what kind of qualities they each bring, and they're very critical of the areas that they can improve. And like I feel like we said, Kana's fear of failure or failing people that has been built over her life and her career is something that definitely has to be moved away from so that this group can thrive, if you know what I mean.
Yep. I think as she gets more confidence, the group will continue to get better. Right now we're probably seeing her at her rawest and at her, I guess weakest as well. She's just slowly beginning her climb back to the star that she can be. So I think when you're talking about the group, this is where the group is going to be very important for, I guess, all the characters. Because you see, Ruby was supporting her, understanding, kind of just getting her to be honest. Because Kana was saying, "Oh yeah, why do I always say the opposite of what I mean?" And like, I think Ruby got Kana to like change her perspective. Like, I really liked that moment at the end of the episode with Ruby and Kana, just to see, because she's always talking about, oh, he's super positive, but I felt like in that moment you had it was wisdom. There was wisdom in the positivity. It's not just blind positivity. She understands that they're probably not going to do well, but like at the end of the day, she doesn't see Kana as someone who's super experienced, because she's not. And when it comes to the idol industry, she's just the same. We're all the same. So let's just go fail together, because it's all going to be our first times. And that's why, in my opinion, Ruby is probably going to be the better leader of the group. But obviously, for the time being, it's going to be Kana, because I feel like Ruby has that. I don't know. She kind of showed maturity in that moment, and I feel like when it comes to the idol stuff, she's definitely more in tune compared to Kana, who's kind of still just getting her feet wet.
No, that's true. I do have an interesting kind of question for you then. Just seeing the fact that, because I also agree with you that Ruby eventually has the dynamics and obviously shows a lot of wisdom and leadership qualities that for center stage, like she's built for it. And all the time she's given to, looking or being inspired by idols and fixated on idols, she's learned a lot from that. But how do you feel about certain people coasting in this idol industry off of looks alone? Because I'm also shocked that 2 people in the group can't sing. Yeah, we have a group.
That is true. That's true, because obviously they're going to be performing next episode, but it's going to be trash because them guys can't sing. So to be honest, it's just going to depend on how hard Kana can carry it singing wise. But coasting on looks alone, let me see. You see, I don't really know that many idols in real life, so I can't really draw on real life experience. But just from like my personal opinion, I don't. This is just, maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't believe that can run in real life. If you cannot sing, in fact, you know what? Maybe it can, because I feel like you could probably work around it. Obviously, like when you come to live performances, like when they started doing auto tune, and you had those auto tune rappers.
Yeah.
So like obviously they got the auto tune on the mic, so like they can still perform live, even though they probably can't actually sing all that well. So they probably can get away with it. If they just do some like it's because of like the dancing, they're good dancing, so that will distract away from it. And if they do some funny stuff with the microphones, more extravagant on the stage, obviously they're like new, so I don't think they can do all that. But there are ways to work around the bad singing, so they probably can coast on looks. A long-winded answer, but yeah.
But,
What do you think?
but I think they're gonna have to, innit? They're gonna have to, especially because of how like quickly this turnaround has been in terms of their performance. You know what I mean? They actually, I was even thinking about it when they were doing the training. I was like, bro, like 10 days, this training that you're doing, just if you're doing the jogging and stuff, that's gonna tire you out more. You should just do the basics. You know what I mean? You should just work on your routine, fundamentals. You know, just key into stuff that you can improve to a level that will benefit you, like in the immediate. Doing that jog, you should have been jogging months ago, mate. You know what I mean? You should have been jogging time ago. So
I mean, they only just made the group, innit?
I hear it. It's true. I can't be too critical in that aspect. But I'm like, bro, the training thing, I was like, just do the routine things. That's why maybe kind of moves us on nicely. How did you feel about Aqua and the reveal, how he was moving? Because it was super smart. Because obviously we know how our girl Kana is when it comes to him, very non-respondent. So, and he obviously cares a lot. I think for me it brought up two key things, character-wise, how committed Aqua is to seeing this through and getting the best out of Bukamochi, and also Kana, that all she needs is a little bit of belief and to feel like there's people out there who are fans of her. You see how she lit up. That's like the two things that kind of shone to me. Anything interesting that interested you during this period?
Yes, and I have a question after I shared some thoughts. So yeah, I thought the thing with Aqua was it was good. You know, it kind of just showed. Obviously, we know he cares for his sister and he wants the group to be successful. So he went the extra mile and impersonated the guy Piemon. Wait, before I continue, why were they censoring that name? Did you see that they were censoring some name when
I
they kept
clocked that. It was very odd, isn't it? I was very confused. It was bleeping out.
I'm saying, yeah, I don't know, like, because I was watching, I'm just like, why do they keep censoring that? I'm gonna have to look it up after we do this, because like I was just like, why are they censoring that? But yeah, tangent aside, yeah, I thought it was good that he went the extra mile, and he was in contact with the guy, and the guy was giving him the review, so like he could actually train them properly. In terms of the moment with Kana when they're on the balcony, it was how do I see it now? I don't know how to react to the situation, because obviously not my first time seeing it, but when I'm looking at it in the second time, I had like two thoughts where I'm like, okay, Kana, your confidence must be like negative 100, because it's too easy for someone to say 3 words to you and you're like, okay, maybe I'll give this guy a go. Like, come on, man, like, I like you, so like I don't want you acting this way, but obviously I'm trying to sympathize because of the confidence thing. And then the other thing is like, Aqua must be Aqua plays a lot of attention to Kana, and he knows a lot about her, which is, I don't know, I guess it's just building up the relation between those two, the interactions, how he's been putting effort in to instill confidence in her multiple times. We've seen that in this season. So I guess it just shows, I think it kind of shows maybe the difference between his relationship with Akane and Kana right now. Obviously, we haven't seen much of the one with Akane, but I feel like, and the show might just be pushing it, but like I feel like the relationship with Kana is definitely different to what he has with Akane, where he seems to, like, them two just seem to draw out different sides of each other, and like they seem to push each other in different ways. Whereas with Akane, from what we've seen so far, it's the mother thing, and then he's interested in her acting. Obviously, we're going to see more, but probably not this season. But my question was, what do you think about like the Aqua and Kana romance? You know, like because we're it's obvious, they're obviously trying to push it, but like, what do you think about that? And do you think it's done well?
I I think so far we've seen that they're both very complicated characters. Obviously both for different reasons, and we obviously have more of a understanding of Aqua because we've followed him and spent a lot of viewing time seeing his story and his motivations and stuff. So we understand why he makes certain decisions and why he acts certain ways. Obviously with Kana, we're continually getting revelations in regards to her character, what really shapes how she thinks. So it's understandable that there is a dynamic in regards to a relationship, or obviously we know Kana likes her. I think it's complex for Aqua to just understanding his profile, that man's really like reincarnated. This is a grown man, and he's already having that. He's only recently feeling like he's becoming Aqua, the person. So it's complicated for him to, I believe, to showcase certain feelings outside of things that are motivating for a specific purpose, especially because now he's mostly motivated by finding his mother's killer and seeing that Ruby's dreams are fulfilled in the safest way possible where she does not get hurt. So he understands how to express those specific purpose-driven stuff better than he probably has the understanding of his feelings. You know what I mean? He doesn't really what we've seen so far, he's never keyed into his feelings, but obviously he has that understanding and he's aware of the dynamics that are happening around him. So I do think so far it has been done well, because I would hate for it to be super smooth sailings and they knew they liked each other, they were working through that dynamic where Kana is, I don't know, even if they did it comedically, but really like hot-headed or sharp-tongued with him, and somehow he reciprocates and falls for her and stuff like that. I would hate if that was the case. I think the way they're doing it now is top, like it's elite, just understanding those two characters separately, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, hey. I think I see. So are you saying because you like the complexity of what they're doing with the interactions between the two characters, that's why you feel like you've been enjoying it?
Yeah.
Am I getting that right?
100%.
Okay.
Because it's how complex it is, it's made it so much more engaging, and thinking about the dynamics. It makes you think about obviously the morality of the dynamics, seeing he's a reincarnated grown man, and the aspect of Kana and her, the complexities of her life, and if what she wants or what she sees in him or what she likes, if it's coming from a good place. Like, we know, if you look at it, she's somebody who is very hurt and very broken and needs healing and needs time to find confidence and value in herself. So all that dynamic between the complexity of both characters individually, and then the subtle notes put in for us to see in regards to pushing towards a romance, that's beautiful, man. I like it.
I heard that, man. And I guess one thing before we just close off the Kana section, I really enjoyed just the talking about failure, just the experiences she's had, and then how she's felt guilty for affecting other people's jobs, how she felt like that affected her, impacted her, the disappointment, all those emotions. Because I feel that really, gave people clarity on why she says these things, why she doesn't really have the belief. Because I think a lot of people were asking, I think even you were asking, like, oh, she should have more confidence, she has skill. But like, I feel like this should give people that, clarity to understand why she has this mindset and why she doesn't really believe that she can do the things that she can do because of her previous experiences, and then just the way that that's kind of warped her view. Like, even her mom says, like, I'm gonna help with granddad, and then she kind of twists that into, oh, because I'm not useful, you're leaving. And you see, like, I don't think the mom, I mean, the mom asked if she should come with her, but then she was saying one thing, but in her head she wasn't thinking the same thing. So I think it's self-inflicted, but it's also due to having a bad environment and not the right people around her. So it's kind of just like both sides, I feel like, is to blame for the end product, which is like the low confidence Kana that we see currently in the show.
Yeah, that's definitely well said, and it definitely shows that when we engage with different characters in shows and real life, uh, you should be really careful with how we pass judgments, because like you just never see, provided the full scope or full perspective. In case of Kana, me, when I was last week, I was like, yeah, why is she not confident, why is this? And now it's just very blatant to see everything that has kind of brought us to this position. I think the last thing that I think we should definitely talk about is this being the first time Ruby has brought up her past life openly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's definitely significant. I kind of just wanted to hear your thoughts first, innit?
Yeah. This is good, because I was actually gonna ask you about this as well, because I thought it was like one of the, again, I think I mentioned earlier, like, you see Ruby, she's very positive most of the time, but I think this is the one of the rare times you see her like lift, what's it, like, shed one of her skins, or I don't know the phrase, lift the veil, open herself up to be more vulnerable with Kana, to like help build that bond, that connection with her fellow group member, and just see why she's so grateful in this moment. We're always so positive, just always a bundle of positive energy, because she's grateful. She didn't think she'd ever have this opportunity. She's just so grateful, and like, it just spills out in all of her actions. And I felt, it kind of highlighted how she's really taken this opportunity to make the most of her second life. You don't get a second life in real life, so like, you see, if you got that chance, especially coming from her background where she was sick and she got reborn in probably the perfect situation, barring the death of her mother, she doesn't have a reason to be upset. And obviously with the sensei, that's the only thing where I'm just like, oh, it's sad, because, and it's also crazy because it's like the guy you liked, quote unquote, that would put my man in jail, so like, stay calm, is your actually now your brother, which is just crazy. But yeah, that's why, I don't know, like, minus in that, I really liked that whole scene with her and Kana. Just, I feel like grateful was the thing I took from that. What about you?
Yeah, man. Likewise, especially what you said earlier, it showed real wisdom from Ruby, an aspect that we kind of rarely get to see, because usually she's all energy, just a bundle of enthusiasm, and sometimes her thoughts and her what she kind of wants to make people know about herself is not focused. It's just a lot. But right then we got a real focus perspective from her, of the importance of gratitude, and like I love the moment you said like we're meant to fail.
Yes.
Like what are you doing? Like we're meant to fail. Failure is what we're meant to do. The thing that we should be focused on is firstly enjoying the moment that is presented to us and afforded to us, and then also when we do fail, going again, learning from it, getting that tiny bit better each time, perfecting what we love, and being always grateful. And I was like, wow, especially in a world and an industry where everything has to be perfect and everything has to look a certain way, and like your life, for you to be a superstar, must look like this, and the steps must be so eloquent and beautiful. For her to have that kind of aspect or perspective at that age, obviously due to her past life and being ill and being bedbound and stuff like that, she understands that the opportunities afforded right now is exceptional. So like life lessons, that's what she was teaching. She was preaching life lessons.
It's true, man. It's true.
Anyway, I didn't know if you had any more thoughts about the episode. We are coming to the end of the spring season. Was there another elite banger from OSHI?
Yes, sir. It was, and ready for the performance. Next episode is ending exactly where I thought it was going to end, and I think it's going to close off very well, and hopefully we get some announcement about season 2 in the works. But we're just thankful that we got this first season. To be honest, it was very good.
100%, man. As Ruby is, we are also grateful for the opportunity to bring this pod and AK Watch to you guys' ears. Follow us on our socials as shown on screen. Engage with us as on all our platforms, as we just continue to grow and continue to fail ourselves, but get better each time. And we'll keep this up, innit?
Yes.
We learn and we keep this up. So yeah, really appreciate you guys listening to us today. Episode 9, the AK Watch. We'll catch you soon.
Episode
Peace. Episode 10, right? Hey, good you caught me with that one. Episode 10. Later.
Peace.
Love you.